Is that not good enough?
Very good.
My mother to this day has a letter sent home from my teacher that says, you know, Dear Mrs. Fitzsimmons, if John thinks he's going to get through life by making people laugh, he's sorely mistaken. My name is Jack Schit, and by definition, I'm really nobody. I'm nothing, you know? When you're a kid and you grow up and your name is Jack, kids are evil, you know? So it was jack off, me off, shit, you know, jackass, you know. And when I was a little kid, I went with the church youth group and went into one of those old folks' homes, a convalescent center, and my last name is Fitzsimmons. So trying to explain something to an old person that can't hear, you shorten things up. So the old man asked me my name, and I said, Jack. And he said, what's your last name? And I said, Fitz. And he said, shit, Jack Schit. What a name! And the kids tortured me, and that name disappeared for a while, and later on it kind of came back and stuck, you know, for the very reason that the old guy said, you'll never be nothing. You ain't never going to be shit. Jack Schit. And boom, it never left.
And here you are.
Here I am, yeah. You know, something that somebody tried to give me as a joke and an insult kind of became the blessing of a lifetime. My first bike was a Triumph Bonneville. I was a kid, and my friend owed me money for reasons that you can only imagine, and he didn't have the money to pay me, and his dad had his old Triumph sitting in the backyard, and all it needed was a little bit of WD-40, some Marvel Mystery Oil, and the thing went down the road. So I got the bike from him for the money he owed me, and when you're a kid, you put on a full-face helmet, nobody knows you're a kid. You can ride anywhere, and as long as you're not breaking the law, nobody stops you. You know, so 15 years old, turning 16, I rode that motorcycle everywhere, and ended up getting rid of it because I owed somebody money and didn't have money to give, so I gave him the bike. And looking back now, man, what I'd give to have that original bone stock Triumph Bonneville. When the Evo motor came out and 100,000 miles, all you had to do was, you know, change the plugs and change the oil, and you had a bike that was dependable. You could go anywhere on it, you know, and it didn't matter what model it was, you know, and that was it. And it wasn't like I wanted a Softail, but it was the only motorcycle there was. I wasn't getting any other bike, you know. I'll never forget it, man. It was when we had the governor who had raised the taxes up, you know, and they recalled him. And July 1st, the taxes rolled back. So I bought the bike at the end of June and waited a week to pick it up for 4th of July weekend because the taxes rolled back. You know, I bought it all the way in Salem County, New Jersey. The first ride on the bike was 120 miles, you know, in a horrific storm, and old lady on the back. I couldn't get the smile off my face. I wasn't sure if we were going to die going up the turnpike, you know. Trucks were coming by and waves of water were coming up because it couldn't go over 55, down to 40, down to up to 60, down to 50, you know, to alternate so that they would see. And it was horrific and the greatest ride ever, all at the same time, you know.
Make fun of you. I'm not making fun of you. Wow, he really thinks I'm trying to make fun of him. Nah, he knows better than that.
Where are we today?
We're at Old Ghost Tattoo in good old downtown Melbourne, Florida.
Who runs this place?
Paul and Gavin and Derek.
What do you think about those guys? They're fairly young, right?
Yeah, they're all young. Paul's work is by far some of the better tattooing I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot. His stuff is absolutely incredible. Gavin has his own style. It's unique. It's a twist off traditional tattooing that's unique.
Who are some of the other young guys that you like? That, you know, I know some you feel like the industry's gotten too big, and who are some of the good people? What are some of the good things that are going on now? Like your favorite folks?
That's so hard. Dana Brunson's son Jason, his work is beautiful. I mean, if there are some, I don't really get to see that much of it. Randy, I can't pronounce her last name. She's over in Australia. Her work is incredible too. Beautiful, solid stuff. And there's just too many different people out there today.
So back east, like you have a party and it's X number of dollars to get in, and for those dollars you get some hot dogs, a hamburger, a corn on the cob, and all the beer you can drink. And by the end of the party, you lost your ass because everybody ate and drank, you broke. So the trick was to entertain people, to keep them from drinking your beer and making you lose your ass, So being a natural smart ass and not being shy, I would compete in the bike events and the rodeo games, and if I wasn't running around in them, I would be the asshole on the megaphone or the guy with the microphone, and it just kind of, I don't know, there was a freedom in it. And to me, like, the greatest thing you could do for someone is to make them smile, make them laugh. You never know if somebody's having a horrible day, or if someone's feeling depressed, or hell, man, even suicidal, and that handshake or the hello, or just making someone laugh when they didn't even know they needed it. It's incredible. I'm a journalist for Cycle Source magazine, and one of the biggest in the world. I'm really proud of that. I host the Grease and Gears TV for them when I'm in town, whatever event we're at. I've had the great honor of hosting damn near every major motorcycle rally in the country now. I'm a stand-up comic. I was a headline national comic. When I really started rolling with hosting the events and traveling, I leave in March and come home in November for the most part, I kind of started getting away from the comedy, the stand-up comedy, and when I host events, I never liked them to say, hosted by comedian Jack Schit. Because, by the time you get on stage, people are already drinking. And, as soon as you tell anybody you're a comedian, they say, well, tell me a joke, make me laugh. The first thing out of anybody's mouth, So by the time you get on stage, there's already people drunk and heckling you. You get up there, be Sam Kinison, there's going to be some asshole who wants to throw a beer can at you. It doesn't matter. So the way I do rallies and host events is, I give them comedy before they realize it's coming. You know what I mean? I just talk to people just the way I'm talking to you. And, if you get a laugh or a smile out of it, you give somebody a memory that they might not have had otherwise because, somebody just put on a radio station for some background noise, I did my job.
Jack Schit.
He's one of my best buddies. Won't shut up though. Never shuts up at all. Great guy. Somebody that truly embraces the nuances of life. And he can tell a story.
There's no motorcycle business in the motorcycle business. Every event is the liquor business. You know what I mean? It's 3-card Monty. It's the shell game. Everything you do at an event is just to keep you there so that you just buy more booze. You know what I mean? And that gives you the money to throw the next event, and keeps you going. The trick is to do it better than anybody else doing it so that more people want to come and drink your booze, A lot of times I'll get in the afternoon or early evening, the day before I'm supposed to start, and I'll race right to the venue or right to the event, and I'll be on stage within a half hour. I'll be in the crowd. I'll be doing something stupid. Like, I love what I do so much that you can't stop me from doing it. So once the first day is done, which usually ends depending on the state and the liquor laws, you close up the bar 2, 3, some places 4. You don't leave for another hour or 2. You got to make sure all the girls get out safe and sound to their vehicles without getting robbed or raped, by somebody that we gave too much liquor to. And the next morning starts, 9 o'clock in the morning. So you work, 9 to 3, 4 a.m. You get back to wherever you're staying, whether it's in a campground or sometimes we're lucky enough to actually have a bed in the house. And you're so pumped up and so excited, you can't go to sleep. And then you try to rehash the day. What can we do tomorrow to make even better than it was today, and by the time you get to sleep, you average maybe, 3 hours at the most a night, and then you're shot out and you got nothing left, and you suck down a Red Bull or two, and as soon as you see those first smiles come back, or you see that first old motorcycle that how is it even on the road anymore come rolling in, you forget that you're exhausted, and you're not anymore. You just go, and something carries you through. I don't know if it's passion, if it's the love of it all, but you just carry through. So, average shortest day at a rally, 14 hours. Most tend to be 18, but you don't feel it. By the end, you're crippled up and you can barely move, and you're usually sick somehow, and you can't wait to do it again.
Tommy Granger is a bad motherfucker.
Remember when I went to Eatontown for my driver's test, I had a 61 Panhead. It was a old New York police bike that I redid. It had straight pipes with fishtails. So I'm in line, and everybody in front of me was like on little Hondas or something like that. So I just waited in line until the guy got to me. Says, okay, start it up. We'll do the course. I started up. The guy goes, get that piece of shit out of here. I said, that's illegal. He wouldn't even let me take the test. So,
Why? Because you had a real motorcycle?
so I left, and actually I was coming home. I was coming down this road right here, and a cop stopped me because I didn't have the license plate on my windshield. I got a warning for that. I came back the next day figuring that guy wouldn't be there, and he wasn't. And I zipped right through, got my license.
Everybody's tattooed head to toe, Everybody's got a neck tattoo now. I remember back in the day, you saw somebody with a neck tattoo, you turned and walked the other way, because that guy had, he was a maniac. Anybody, Richie used to say, I'll tattoo your neck for free, and when he did, he said, congratulations, you're now unemployable, You are now unemployable, and he would do them for free. And now, everybody's got neck tattoos, it's all changed. It's become mainstream. I think it was Chris Callan from Cyclesource that said, our entire lifestyle has been bastardized, pasteurized, sanitized, and homogenized now, and packaged for sale, and hey man, if somebody's buying, screw it, we'll sell it. But, you're just always going to have that core group of people that it's still very real for. You live and you breathe, and you get cut and 50 weight comes out. For every 100 people or 1,000 people or 10,000 people that come into this as a fad, there's going to be people that this changes their life. You know what I mean? And they're going to be around forever. And I hope to get to meet those people.
Well, when I started riding, New Jersey was kind of owned by clubs. And I'm not going to mention club names, but you kind of had to watch your back. Clubs controlled everything. If you went to a certain bar, there was a club that ran that bar, and you went to this bar, club ran that bar. And that had to do a lot with tattooing too. Tattoo shops were owned by a lot of clubs, and you tried to keep yourself independent. So back then, I never wanted anything to do with clubs. Not that I have anything against them, it just wasn't my thing. But clubs ran everything back then, where now clubs are kind of a little bit, they're mellower than they were back then. So you don't have to worry about where you ride and what you're doing. It's a little cooler.
Pete, go back to LA.